I was just watching James Carville interviewing with Will Cain, and he says, well, by the time Biden left office, we had the border pretty much under control. And as you know, Barack Obama has been called deporter-in-chief. Does he really deserve the name deporter-in-chief? There's a very thorough article, American Liberty News, headline, Trump the Deporter, Correcting the Record on America's Immigration Numbers. Let's go through it. It says, over the past 3 administrations, the definition of deportation has shifted so dramatically, comparisons are almost meaningless. They've cooked the books, changed the definition. If you don't cook the books, if you don't change the definition, Trump has deported more illegal aliens than any previous president, not because he cooked the books, not because he twisted the definition of deportation, but because he enforced the law. What is a deportation, you ask? Well, according to the Immigration Code, a deportation refers to the formal removal of an individual who has no lawful basis to remain in the country. The formal removal of an individual who has no lawful basis to remain in the country. Process often ends with an order of removal from an immigration judge, or in some cases, an expedited removal issued by the Department of Homeland Security. But over time, the definition has changed and changed and changed to be almost meaningless. For example, during the Obama administration, a large share of what used to be called returns, that's just informal turnarounds at the border. They catch you at the border, no legal order, they just tell you to leave. He changed that definition to deportation from returns. That allowed the administration to inflate the number of deportation stats to give you the impression that Obama was deporting a bunch of people. Obama at the time worried that he might be perceived to be soft on the border, so he just changed the definition. These individuals never saw a courtroom, much less had a formal order of removal. Nevertheless, Obama counted them as deportees. Therefore, when he's called deporter-in-chief, it really isn't fair to him. Now, notice he didn't really push back too much because at the time, the idea was he wanted to be perceived as being tough on the borders. And if people in the Obama administration said, well, it's just not true, we just basically said that returnees were now called deportations, they would be admitting that they lied. So they don't say anything. So it just hangs there. If you think Obama stretched the definition, what do you get to Joe Biden? Under Biden, millions of illegal border crossers who were never returned, never prosecuted, never ordered to leave were counted as, wait for it, deportations. How, you ask? Through parole. Obama's DHS implemented an expansive use of humanitarian parole, remain in the interior, receive work permits, and await proceedings that may never occur, yet according to internal DHS documents and statements to the press, these parolees were counted as returns or removals or deportees. And of course, there's no secret about why they did that. They allowed millions of illegal aliens to come into the country, and rather than deal with the fallout, they just changed the definitions. DHS began reporting large numbers of, quote, deported or returned individuals as deportations, when in fact they weren't. That allowed Alejandro Mayorkas, his DHS secretary, to claim that the administration had removed or returned more individuals than any time since 2010, when in fact it had done no such thing. Now let's talk about Trump. First 100 days, Trump has removed more illegal aliens than Biden did in his entire years. Not by changing the definition, not by using sort of creative language. These are physical removals, arrests by ICE, expedited removals, immigration court orders enforced, airlifts returning illegal aliens to their homes ended. Parole has been rescinded. One Border Patrol loophole, one has been closed. Remain in Mexico fully reinstated with Mexico's cooperation, and interior enforcement is no longer hamstrung by sanctuary jurisdictions or bureaucratic guidelines. A deportation now means what it ought to mean. Somebody here illegally is sent home. No parole, no release with a court date, no redistribution flights to the interior. A deportation now means somebody here illegally is sent home. So, under Biden, gotaways, by the way, exceeded 1.6 million from 2021 to 2024. These individuals were never detained, never processed, never counted in formal removal stats. They simply vanished into the interior. By contrast, under Trump, these so-called gotaways have plummeted. A deportation now means what it used to mean. And under Trump, by that measure, his second term has already surpassed all of his predecessors. And that's just in 100 days. Not by changing the definition, not by lying about what he's done, but by enforcing deportation, and deportation means what it says it means. You're here illegally and you are deported.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.